Why are you doing these exams? You might think, well, I don't know why I'm doing these exams. I'm just kind of doing them because I have to do them. I know how you feel. That's why I think it's important for us to have a chat about this. Why are you doing this exam? What's your goal? Are you trying to show off to other people how smart you are? Are you trying to please your parents? Are you trying to become a physiotherapist, a doctor, an engineer? Are you trying to learn how to order your life and achieve a goal and a project and be productive with your life? What are your goals? When you go on this journey towards your goal of delivering on that exam, you need to work out why you're doing it. And if you don't know why you're doing it, you need to find a reason why you're doing it. You need to find your reason. And if it doesn't become your reason, then you won't be able to go through the challenges that will face you on this journey. There'll be lots of things that will try and stop you getting to your goal of passing that exam or excelling in that exam, and other people fail. And I know you've got dyslexia and that makes it even harder. It's doable, but it's only doable if you've got a good enough reason why you want to do that exam. I'll be honest with you, when I was at school, I thought to myself, what's the point of exam? The reason why I did it was, I'll be honest with you, I wanted to please my parents. And they put so much into me, I thought, I want to pay back what my parents had done. They put a lot of money into private education for me in high school, some tutors, and my mum did a lot for me, especially at home. Single mum, etc. I had dyslexia. It was really tough, and I worked really hard for my exams. Am I saying you should pass your exams to please your parents? No. What I'm saying is you need to find your reason for doing that exam. You need to be aware of what your reason is. And then once you've got your why are you doing this exam, you ask yourself, what are you going to get in your exam? What grades are you going to get in your exam? You might say, oh, I don't know what grades I'm going to get in my exam. Hopefully I'll do well. Well, I'll be straight with you. That's not the way the world works. That's not the way business works. It's not the way life works. It's not the way achieving things works. When you want to achieve something, you set a goal. You decide what you're going to do and where you're going to end up. So I'm going to ask you, what grades are you going to get in your exam? Let me make it clear, okay? If you don't aim for a B, you probably won't get that B. But if you aim for the A, your probability of getting that A is much, much, much higher. You look at all sports psychology, you look at all goal setting, you look at all the psychology on this. You've got to set a goal. If you don't know where you're going, you're not going to get where you're going. Most people, virtually all people, get the A or the B because they chose it. They decided, I'm going to get an A in this subject. I'm going to get that B in this subject. They might not brag about it, they might not tell anyone else, but something happened inside and they made a choice. And I'm asking you to make that choice. But before you make that choice and you say, oh yeah, well, okay, I'm going to get 5 A's or 7 A's, ask you to pause and wait for a moment. You're going to have to pay a price for that grade. You're going to have to say no to friends. You're going to have to put your phone down and switch off notifications. You're going to have to say no to a lot of things in order to say yes to the A. There's a price to be paid. Okay? Are you willing to fall down, get hurt, pick yourself back up? Are you willing to hear in the distance your friends having a party in a village somewhere and you're thinking, oh, I'm out here on my own. I'll just nip over there and I'll join them and then I'll come back here. Are you willing to say no to that sometimes? You're still going to have fun, but there are times when you're going to have to say no. And it doesn't matter whether you're dyslexic or not dyslexic, there's a big price to be paid. And if you're dyslexic and you want those A's, you're going to have a bigger price. And your parents are probably going to have to pay a bigger price because they will need to help you at certain stages. It's a team effort when it comes to dyslexia and exams. Are you willing to make that journey? Part of that journey is being humble enough to learn from other people. Now, dyslexics, we're often very independent people. You've learned through your life to do the best you can quietly with the challenges you've got. And you've learned a level of independence that is in many ways higher than other people, because you've had to meet certain challenges quietly that you've just thought everyone else had. But the reality is, you've had to face higher challenges than other people, and it's made you much more independent. But the downside of being independent is that sometimes you can be too independent, which means it comes across as you're not humble enough to listen to other people, to ask for their advice. Because sometimes it can make you feel like you're inadequate, that if you can't figure it all yourself and you can't do it all on your own, then there's something wrong with you. And the reality is every single one of us needs each other. Life is a team effort. You still need to take on your individual responsibility, but there's a limit to your individual responsibility where you stop and you say, I need some help. I need to learn some techniques. I need to take some advice from my parents or an elder brother or someone who's done it before you. Get advice and be humble enough to learn. Fortunately, you're at the stage where you're young enough to say, well, of course I don't know all the answers. Of course I need to ask other people what their advice are. And there aren't the same levels of expectations to manage it all on your own. So you're in a great place right now. Keep that. Ask advice. Get tips. Get help. So let's finish this off. Here are my questions to you. How many exams are you doing? Decide why are you doing them, so that you learn the skills of being able to complete a project, being able to set your target, take all your resources and achieve that goal and target by a set date. If that's your goal, next question is, what are you aiming for? Are you aiming for a B in English, an A in maths, an A in physics, a C in history, whatever it is? Set your targets. Doesn't have to be A's across the board. It's what you want. And it could rise over time as your confidence increases, but set what your target is, okay? And then, inside, decide, I'm going to take responsibility for the cost it will take to achieve these goals. Part of the cost is humility. The humility to be willing to ask for help. Not to pass off responsibility, but just ask for help with what you need when you need it. So that's it. Find out why you're doing it, decide what you're going to do, and inwardly agree that you're willing to pay the price to get there. Over to you. Spend some time just now with your parent and figure that out, discuss that out. Why am I doing this? What am I going to get? And am I willing to pay the price? Because once you've got that, it's time to go on the road and on this adventure towards your exam with a map in your hand to find your way.